PMG Radio. Respect your jaw.
You can't slap a nigga in there because he shoot you. You say, all right, he went too far. Like, you can't do that. Like, that's just not how it works, man. Let's get into Ye, though. Kanye West flew a bunch of prestigious people in the hip-hop community to Wyoming, to a ranch in Wyoming for one of the most prestigious listening parties I think we'll ever see. You know what I mean? There were bonfires. There were s'mores.
I like bonfires.
There were horseback rides.
But I don't fuck with Kanye. But I like bonfires.
There were a lot of salty people that were mad they weren't on that list to go there. Yes, there was a lot of saltiness in the industry, trust me, of people who felt like they should have been on that list that weren't there. That list was that make or break moment to where you find out if you are a complete nobody in the music industry, if you weren't there, i.e. Ebro, who wasn't on the list, i.e. Rosenberg, who wasn't on the list.
They really thought they were going to be...
I'm just saying, they weren't on the list.
Would they have window?
I'm not sure.
Probably not.
I don't give a fuck if I would have won it. I still want to be on the list.
Just want to say that they wasn't biased.
Fuck if I would have won it.
You
gonna put my name on that?
I guess that does hold.
Word up. But yeah, you know they weren't on the list. Shout out to my homegirl Cecilia. She went. I don't know how the fuck she got. What she's Complex, so yeah, of course. She went. Complex was there. Tim Westwood was there. They flew him out from the UK. Tim Westwood was there. Yeah, free of charge. All this was free.
I would hope so.
All this was free. Tim Westwood was there. Homeboy from No Jumper, he was there. There was a lot of notable people. 40 Ounce Van was there. Shout out to 40 Ounce, he was there. 40 Ounce Van got flown out. There's a lot of notable people from the East West Coast that were privy to be at this listening event in Wyoming for Ye. You know what I mean?
How do you even think to have a listening party in Wyoming?
That's Kanye West.
They was recording out. They was recording out there. In the push interview, he was talking about that whole.
I actually heard from a lot of people there that Pusha T was actually like one of the main staples there. Like everybody wanted to talk to him.
Of course.
You understand what I'm saying? Because of the situation that was going on. Yeah, go ahead. So, salute to Pusha T for that. You know what I mean? Now, in terms of the project itself, Ye, there's been a lot of mixed reviews. The project is seven tracks, right. I believe, right? Yeah, 7 tracks. So have you not listened to it by choice or by force? Meaning like you just haven't had a chance to get to it, or if you consciously decide I don't want to listen to it.
Don't want to listen. Yeah.
Don't want to listen to it. What about you?
I'm good on him.
I feel like a lot of people just, well, let's get back to that in a minute. This young lady has had the privilege of hearing Ye. Could you step up to the mic for a minute and just give us your take on? No, I would love to hear her take on the project.
Remember that you are black.
So, yeah. Yes, please. Just give us your take on the project and what you thought about it. And
careful.
Yeah, what?
Girl, your feet hurt.
These sneakers are.
All right. First of all, what's your name?
My name is Diemra.
And then what's your social media so people know where to find you at for your opinions?
Oh God, I can't. Sure. I'm not even.
I like your nose ring. I have a faux one that I put in.
Let's not get off the subject. You know what I mean? Let's get to your social media.
My social media. Okay, so it's called. Wow. Okay. So empathic soul, meaning like because I consider myself to be an empath and I feel a lot of feelings. Right. So that's where you can find me on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right. So you listened to Ye the whole thing?
Yes, I listened to the whole thing.
All right. Before we even get to that, what was your thoughts on Kanye prior to listening to this project?
I feel like I've been so disappointed in him.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hate to say that. But I was disappointed in him, but it was also like a revelation about how much I put way too much on these celebrities.
Right.
I put way too much faith and hope in like, especially people like Kanye, who I felt like were just a staple of like, blackness and black power and black culture and black genius and black art. That's when I looked at Kanye. That's what I felt. Like that's how I felt.
But you know what? Let me tap in right there. In fairness,
don't interrupt.
No, hold on. That's my job to interrupt. You know what I mean? In fairness to Kanye West, I don't think he's ever raised the black fist. Except for that time he did the whole George Bush doesn't give a fuck
But he
about
didn't
black
have to
people thing,
raise
right?
the black fist to be like.
Yeah,
I
no.
mean, he
It was in
did.
his lyrics, it was in his music. It was in his
You think
His music,
Kanye
like,
was
even the
was
video with
consciously?
His lyrics?
His
Yeah,
video with
definitely.
Nia Long
Okay.
and Tracy Ellis Ross, like
was
stuff
black
like
as
that.
fuck.
Yeah.
All right, I got you. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, cool. I haven't been that
I
much.
mean,
of
I
that.
ain't
It's
fuck
been
with
a
him right
long
now, but I'm
journey.
not gonna
It's been a
take
long
away
journey
from what
in his
he's
career.
done.
All right,
Yeah.
it's been a slippery slope.
Like, the reason why I had so much respect for him and put him in that pedestal is because he was always the one that just didn't care. Like, he was just gonna do everything that people told him he's not gonna do or he shouldn't do.
Right.
He just went for it, and it always worked for him. So
All right,
listening,
so leading into the project,
yeah, so
right?
listening to the project, I feel like it was a reflection of him and what he's been going through. I don't. It's going back. It's like part of me is like, okay, so this kind of explains a lot about what he's been going through because I've been listening to other and reading other stuff about his album. Apparently, the original album that he had, he scrapped it after the whole TMZ thing.
Right.
After everybody was coming.
A lot of people were saying a lot of things he were talking about on the album were like current within like the last 2-3 weeks.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Like he like literally just went into the studio and made it.
Yeah.
So for me, I felt like it was really kind of a way for people to kind of see into the mind of Kanye in a sense. If that makes any sense. The one song that really stuck out to me was the first song, which I Think About Killing You.
Right.
And that song, I think it was just like a personal thing because I have my own issues with mental health. So like that song really like sang to my heart. But at the same time, I felt like he just didn't need to do all the extra stuff that he did before the album.
Right.
And I feel like he's using this album to kind of be like, hey, I'm sorry, without really saying I'm sorry.
Okay.
If you
So,
listen to the things that he says in that album, he kind of like mentions the TMZ thing and him saying that stuff about slavery. And he talks about like, you know, his mental illness and how he's bipolar and all this other stuff. And it's just like, I feel like it's like part of me wants to be like, yeah, I'm glad that you are trying to show a different side of Kanye that nobody
Right.
really sees so people can be more empathetic to you.
Right.
But it's just like, I don't know. I don't know if it's really genuine, and I don't.
That nigga ain't bipolar.
shit, you don't think so? What the fuck? Like,
Kanye is not bipolar.
I really don't know.
I think he's about a couple steps past
Kanye's
bipolar.
not,
Like, you know what I
Kanye's
mean?
not
Like-
bipolar. Kanye's very aware of everything that he's fucking doing. He's not bipolar.
All right, hold on 1 second. I just want to stick
Okay,
to the
go.
music real
No,
quick.
no,
You know
no.
what I mean?
So I really enjoyed it, but I also don't blame anybody who doesn't care to listen to it.
All right, so for you, does the music are you able to separate Kanye
No.
the music
Hell
from
no.
Kanye the man?
No, I
So-
was mad at myself for listening to it.
I'm glad
Okay.
you was.
So,
I'm glad you was mad at
No,
yourself.
I was mad at
I'm
myself.
glad
For
you were mad
listening
at
to it.
yourself.
I'm proud.
I really was. I was mad at myself because it's just like, like literally all that stuff. He was pissing off black people for 2 months.
Right, absolutely.
And, right, and
how I
that's the
felt.
thing is like I'm gonna cry mental illness because that's a hot topic, so y'all can get off my back. Like fuck that shit. He's not bipolar.
I can see why people. I can understand why people will come down to that conclusion.
You know bipolar when you see it. Kanye is not bipolar. Bipolar people are manic and they don't know the difference between their highs and their lows. Kanye is not fucking bipolar.
I don't know.
To
on
each
that
his
level
own. I
to
can't.
do that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
I
don't want
don't
to
know
dive
about that.
into.
We only
to
know
the-
That's a
differentiate
whole
that.
other argument in itself. But like I said, I'm sorry. I just want to the music though, because I want people to understand that
She just said the music was trash.
I don't.
she
think
didn't say that. She didn't say
I
that.
don't
She
think it
didn't
was
say
bad. I
that.
feel because I'm too sensitive and empathetic that I can understand and I
Right.
can vibe with it. But I understand why people would find it trash or wouldn't care to listen to it. Like,
All right. So for you, at a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it? The project.
For me, for
Yeah,
me,
yeah, just be
for
honest. You heard the
me,
fucking question.
For
Just
me,
be honest.
for me, I would really give it a 9 or 8 because it hit my heart. It was just like he hit like the. I'm sensitive, so anybody
I'm
can
not
do
mad at
that.
her
So
for that.
it's like anybody else can do that. So I know you're like staring at me like, sis, really?
No.
But like I'm just
Feel-
saying.
all
Nah,
feel-
don't look at my stance. Don't look at
No,
everybody like
listen,
that. I'm
listen.
like,
all feelings aside, the general consensus I've gotten is that the album is good.
nah, I heard it was
To
trash.
be honest with you, that's what I've heard.
It's not bad.
I've heard from the people that were there that playing it there live. Everybody loved it. Now, obviously, you're like, okay, everybody's gonna love it because he flew everybody the fuck out. Of course, they're all gonna love it.
Yeah.
But I've heard from like people have generally said the music is good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I gotta listen to it myself. But are we collectively? Are we able to separate
am not.
Kanye the
I am
man
not.
from
I
Kanye
am
the
not.
music?
I'm
No,
not.
I feel like, and I don't think I don't think anybody should be forced to pick or choose a side. Like I feel like if you feel like you want to do that, then go ahead. But for me, it's just like if I'm still going on my iTunes account, looking your name up and streaming your music,
I'm
still
putting money in the pockets of somebody who feels like slavery is a choice. Like, fuck out of here. No, I can't separate it. That's just like people who be like, oh, well, you got to separate R. Kelly from what he does. Like, really?
No.
Like,
no,
really?
And you know
not.
what? I tried that for a long time, to be honest with you. No, seriously, I really
never
did.
tried that.
I tried that for such a long time, to separate R. Kelly the man from R. Kelly the music, because the music is so fucking good.
And at the end of the day, he's a
You know
bastard.
what I'm saying?
At the end of the day, the art is an extension of the artist. So
Mm-hmm.
is what I'm saying. You can't.
All them shits he's singing is about young girls.
But that was everybody's gripe with the whole Wyoming party, was that they were saying, like, all of you 200, 300 motherfuckers that were there, y'all just forgot about everything.
Everything, right.
Like, everything that
That's
just
the-
happened with
but
this
people,
man.
People need to understand and remind themselves that the society that we're living in, it's all about clout and money.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying? So, like, we could sit here all day and be like, oh, we shouldn't do this, we shouldn't do this, that. But we, like you guys talked about earlier about the NFL, people are not giving up their checks. People are going to do whatever they need to do to stay relevant and to get that clout and to get to the money, get to the bag.
That's a fact.
You get what I'm saying? So you can't, like, for me, I can't blame people who still want to rock with him or work with him or still, like, you know what I mean? Because they're thinking in the mindset of the society that we're living
But
in.
there's so
And
many
we
other
all
people
need-
that you can rock with and work with besides Kanye.
And listen, we all need to be honest with ourselves now. I don't know how many people sitting in this room would have turned down a free motherfucking trip to Wyoming.
I would.
Sit there.
I would.
I would.
I
Now,
would.
fuck
I would.
That shit.
I'm not about to break bread
I'm
with
going.
nobody. I'm
Fuck
not about
that.
to break bread with nobody who said that slavery
What if I
was a
coulda, like,
choice.
sold my invite.
Like, first of all, on a
All right,
good
I'm with
day,
that. I'm
what-
with that. I'm not mad at that.
like,
Yeah.
I'm not
nice.
mad at that. I would have said it.
So Kanye can buy you.
All right,
basically.
Kanye, you
can buy you.
get that invite.
Like, I swear, I swear everything. I'm not
Nigga,
fucking
the
with it.
fucking
All right.
devil could buy me right now. Fuck what you talking
Yo.
about. But yo,
I would never. I would have burned that. I would have burned that whole
But
shit.
yo,
Like,
you
Damn.
get that invite to Wyoming.
I would have burnt
You
it.
not going?
I would have burnt it right on the
Come on.
stove top.
You going?
Something really quickly.
I-
Don't you guys find it extremely, extremely interesting that out of all the places he decides to go to, he goes to Wyoming, especially with his whole like Magna fascination, him like hailing Candace
No, it is the
Owens.
most hick
Like,
town shit you ever go
yeah,
to.
like,
But in fairness, to
And
him,
that's what
though,
I'm saying.
that
Out of
nigga-
all the places, why
No,
you
no,
like
but it's
listen?
like it makes sense though, because this man is low key a genius at the same time. Because you're gonna go to Wyoming, you're gonna have an album cover with the mountains of Wyoming.
Yeah.
You're gonna talk about mental illness, which is quote unquote a white thing. If you really want
He
to go
recorded the
there,
whole project there,
Do
too.
you get what I'm saying? Like I feel like I'm kind of like low key a conspiracy theorist when it comes to this man too. I feel like he's got something under his sleeve. I know I sound crazy.
You
right
smoke,
now.
don't you?
Listen,
You smoke. She smoke.
No, they were saying.
Her hands got the moving like.
like no, because I really think about it. I'm like,
No, I've heard this from so many
Yeah, they
people
were
too when it
saying
comes to
like a
Kanye
performance
West.
art
Like, yo,
piece, like,
people
like
will
elaborate
people
performance.
will literally argue the genius of this man to a T.
I'm not
Like,
saying that he's not a genius. I do absolutely feel like
Maybe
he's a
Kaufman,
genius.
that's the guy they
I
said
feel
is
like he's
kinda
a
like
genius
that.
and he's good at what he does. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't negate the
he
recent
goes to
stuff.
the middle of America. The middle of America is literally
Middle
where
America.
all the political things that are going on.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are really pushing that forward. They're the ones that really voted for Trump.
Yeah.
That's
They're
a
the
fact.
ones that really
That's a fact.
supported him. And if you watch if you really watch the full TMZ to its entirety, not to say that I swear to God I was just as pissed as anybody else.
Right.
But there's literally things like he said at the end. It's like. For him, he just wants to view people as people, and in a world where
I
listen, listen,
cannot
listen.
stand when black people be preaching that view people as people
Bro,
shit.
this is the point I'm trying to say. In my sensitive, empathetic heart, I wish I could be able to sit down with a Trump supporter and be able to discuss issues in a civil manner. But at the same time, I also understand that person chose against the human life of other people who are marginalized. And that's the reason why I can't rock with it.
That's a
because
fact.
the moment that you question my humanity as a person, whether it be because I'm black, gay, whatever the case may be, I can't, there's no justification for that. There's nothing in this world that you're going to tell me that's going to justify you looking at another human being as if they're beneath you.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? So
Does all that factor into you for the music though?
for the music, and that's why I feel like Kanye was trying to kind of low-key cop a plea with this album, if that makes any sense.
No, it does.
You know what I mean?
Go ahead, Kenya. What was you
Go
gonna
ahead.
say?
Fuck
Just
Kanye.
can't rock with it.
Yeah, like fuck. Like I really like. The thing is, like, I'm very black and white, so for me, it doesn't take much to just kind of like turn me off. Like, and first of all, like him marrying Kim Kardashian was enough because I don't
I put
believe
this
in
on
the whole
everything I love, and
interracial
if
dating
Kim ever
shit.
becomes our first
Like,
president, our first lady, I will literally find the next ticket back to the Ivory Coast and never.
Wait, so
come back.
Donald Trump wasn't enough for you to
No,
find that
no,
ticket?
it really wasn't enough because, and that's another reason why I feel like he's plotting. Like, you're gonna go to the America, Magna, trying to connect to white people. White people already fuck with you enough, Kanye. You didn't really need to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
But I do think though one thing the listening party showed me is that he is still of the culture. Whether he is for the culture is a totally different question. But the fact that he decided to bring so many people who have voices within our culture of hip hop, I thought that was dope. You understand
One
what
thing
I'm saying?
I think we all can agree on is that Kanye feeds off of publicity.
Nas was there, by the way.
I think we can definitely.
Nas was there. Nas was in Wyoming. Nas was there.
Wait, Nazir?
Nasir Jones was in Wyoming for that party. Yes,
Yeah,
Nas was there.
Yeah, Chris Rock was there too.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you see how your face changed up, right? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Chris Rock was there.
That's
Fab
crazy.
was there.
From the
I know
bottom of my
Fab
heart,
was
I really
there.
hope that he really is like.
But then
not
Fab is
trying to
canceled
ride the
too,
whole
though,
wave of
like-
mental illness, and I hope he's really like. I don't know if he's true or not. I really hope it is true. Because
I don't feel like
people are
he's
really-
genuine about the mental
people are
illness, and that bothers me.
suffering from it, and it makes
Right.
Me, it would
It's
make
a
me
real
mad if
thing.
He's using it as a publicity stunt. Part of me feels like it's not the case. I feel like maybe that's him being honest
You
with himself.
really think he's bipolar?
I don't know if it's necessarily bipolar, but I feel like he's
He's
using
been
this.
talking about therapy for a while.
Yeah.
in his music.
That
Like,
nigga is definitely bipolar.
I don't.
Bipolar and
This is just
schizophrenic,
me.
if you
This is
ask me.
just this is just me. Me personally, I don't feel like he's bipolar. That's me though. That's just me working in the
when-
medical
when they-
field. That's me working with people who really deal with mental illness, and that's me having my own.
Yeah, like it might be a different.
When they
spectrum,
when
I
they
don't
came
know.
up with that
Do
term,
I think he's still dealing with depression from his mother's death? Yes. Do I
When-
think he's bipolar? No.
when they came up with that term, there's a thin line between genius and insanity. They was thinking about Kanye
Kanye
West when they
West.
came
No,
up with
for
that
real.
shit. Seriously,
No,
because
seriously.
dude is that to a T. Yo.
Right,
Like,
and he's such a genius that he can actually make like y'all in the masses feel like
he can puppet people. I give you that. He can puppet people around. Dude can definitely do that, and I seen that
I'm
with
done
that
talking about
Wyoming
him. Like
listening
I'm done
party.
talking. I already feel like I done gave him too much energy right
He
now.
could-
Can
he-
we go
he
to
could-
the
He could puppet you this way, and he could puppet you that way. Like he
Why
can,
do y'all give him so much fucking power? This is a man
Oh,
who
not
like
me. JC does.
married a white woman, like then said that slavery was a choice. Got all these damn half breed kids, like.
But JC, don't lie. You champion Kanye
My sister
for a
championed
long
Kanye.
time.
that was my guy.
All right.
Like, no, I can't. I'm not gonna take away everything he's done.
Right.
prior. Like.
All right.
that's
So when
completely
did you
different.
jump? When did you jump off the ship then?
It's not a ship.
I mean, I'm yeah, wrong.
He's like, it's not a
when,
ship.
when-
I'm like, what was the last album before this one?
before.
That it's not
Life
Dark
of
Twisted.
Pablo?
It's
No.
Yeah,
Life
yeah,
of
yeah,
Pablo.
yep,
Yes,
yep.
Life
Life
of
of Pablo.
Pablo.
Yep, Life of
I
Pablo.
months to listen to that album. I didn't care. Like it's been happening.
It was a hard pill to swallow trying to listen to that album.
Are you gonna
It was.
you gonna give Ye a chance?
He's been a chance for what? Like he doesn't need my chance. Like, he's fine. Like
No, I'm just
fine.
saying. Hey, we gotta listen to it. She said it's good music.
I mean, I liked it.
It's
but
good
I
music
just-
to
I-
Check
I-
out the
her.
Nas album, 'cause
You
I know he
listen to it
produced
too?
that. I'll check
Oh,
out
you
the Nas
canceled.
album.
You
That's
canceled.
what I'm saying.
Stand
I don't,
sold.
like, musically, I haven't really wanted.
We
to listen
usually
to
see eye
him
to
in a long
eye. You
time.
canceled.
All right, but that's my point though. I don't think we're ever like as much as people say they can. We'll never be able to get away from Kanye the cultural influencer and Kanye the man with an opinion.
Yeah.
I mean,
We'll never be able to get away from those two
At the end
things.
of the day,
I
I,
agree
hope
with
he's
that.
like whole and find peace within himself, outside of music aside. Like as a
Yeah,
man,
valid,
like
yeah.
I think we all should support him as a man and make sure
He's okay.
he's okay. Like other than that, because we're so quick to be like, oh, he's
He
going
in
through
the
shit, he jumping
Calabasas
shit.
Hill with
Like,
the
we're not
Kardashians.
fucking
He
with you
good.
anymore. Like black people
No,
fuck-
I think it's actually the opposite, brother. I think as soon as the music came out, everybody forgot. Like
You really
seriously.
think so? You really
How-
think-
even if they
nobody,
forget,
nobody forgets.
he
Nobody
still has
forgets.
his issues. Like,
Yeah.
Nobody forgets. I didn't forget. I was listening to that album and I'm like, yo, why? I was
Why is
you
it so good?
No, not even why is he so good,
Then
but
you would
why
really
would
be
you do
conflicted.
this? Why would you do this to
Like put us
people
in
who-
this position.
Yeah, why exactly? Why would you put us in this position?
Right, to
I
have
will
to
say,
choose.
I will say,
Right,
I
right.
genuinely felt like that because Me and my sister are Kanye fans, especially my sister. But at some point, I had to be like, yo, fuck this shit. Like, I'm not fucking with this. Like, I don't give a fuck how good your music is. Like, this is some bullshit. Like, you on some fuck shit. Like,
But I think that's what I don't
and
think he
I
understands.
can't-
That's why a lot of people are really pissed off about him because I don't think he
and that's
understands how powerful his
selfish. And
voice
that's
is.
and that's
You know what I
selfish
mean?
as fuck. And he needs to understand how powerful his voice is. And I understand that you probably don't want that burden. But that's something that you took up a long time ago when you said George Bush don't like black people.
Once you did that, boy. It was
You understand what I'm
over.
But
saying?
see, that's what I'm saying.
And for you to champion all this shit.